Panties dropping for Jesus. That was the name of my last comedy set. And people came up to me a lot about that, and they were like, did you have to call it that? I was like, yes. Okay, George, but when you sent the email to the entire law school and business school, including all faculty, subject line, panties dropping for Jesus, did you at least think about that? And I was like, yeah, I thought about that. That's a hard email to send. Because here I am calling it panties dropping for Jesus, but it could just as easily be called panties snapping for Jesus. What would Jesus do? I prayed about this, homie. I don't want to go to hell. I prayed about this. I'll tell you the whole story. I was going down a Flappers Comedy Club in Los Angeles. It's a great club with a great vibe. And it's a place where Kevin Hart has played, and a lot of cool people are there. And have no money at the time. I'm staying with an up-and-coming actor named Corey Jensen, know the name. And I'm super stressed. So I'm walking to the comedy club. I've got 5 minutes to make a very tough audience basically laugh, hopefully. And there are all these churches around, and I'm going in, and I'm basically praying. I'm like, please, God, let this go well. And a voice in my head was like, you think God gives a shit about your jokes? But I also was like, man, maybe he does, because if my voicemail was like death, 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 murder, death, poverty, death, 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 joke, I said, let me just take that joke call right now. And so the show goes well. I'm walking back, and I felt like the strongest sense as, like, it was like, George, you gotta call this panties dropping for Jesus. Nothing else makes sense. And the reason I want to do that is for this extra social critique, which is the Catholic Church is very gendered. And one of those stereotypes of the genders is that if a woman's a virgin, that's pure. If a man's a virgin, that's hide your kids. So if you notice, and if you follow my logic, you're going to realize it's airtight. They will always say the Virgin Mary, but they'll never say the Virgin Jesus, even though Jesus was a virgin. So I said, if the church was so against sex, they'd call him the Virgin Jesus. But they don't want you to do that because they want you to know, hey, if Jesus wanted to get laid, he could. He's turning water into wine. He's feeding 5,000 people. His entourage is 12 deep wherever he goes. If Jesus wanted to get laid, he could. So what you're basically saying is panties dropping for Jesus. It's airtight. Let me put it like this. Ever since Stanford became politically correct, so super politically correct, I've never lost an argument. Because whenever I'm in an argument, I just say, yo, bro, that point I just said was an African proverb. Homie, if you disagree with me, that makes you a racist. Hayward don't play fair. Let me say a little bit. I got to come correct on this, Candace. Most racially insensitive phrase you're going to hear at the GSB is African proverb. Homie, have you heard of a European proverb? An Asian proverb? A world proverb? That's right. But you've heard of an African proverb? Homie, there are 54 fucking countries in Africa. If you told me it's a Tanzanian proverb, shout out Benji Fernandez, what? I know he watching. Then I believe it. If you told me it's a South African proverb, I believe it. But if you told me it's an African proverb, I don't think you checked it. So let's see, it's a very smart room. So I'm gonna do it here, because one of these is the real one. Which is the real African proverb? If the cheetah runs far, the cheetah is fast. If the tree grows tall, the roots are deep. Who thinks it's cheetah? Who thinks it's the tree? I actually did make them both up.